that's the name of the game. Keep running, keep striving, maintain the same hunger, that fire, that burning desire. In this long run, I'm reaching higher, live. Long run, yeah, a long game. Through the struggle, through the pain, I keep my eyes on the prize. Never lose sight in this marathon of life. I'm running through the night.
What's up, everybody? What's up with you? What's up with you? Hey, it's Pianoman here. Good to be here. Roll Tide, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well. I may as well bring my big brother on to the stage with me.
Big brother.
Let me see. Here we go. Let's do this. There's Coach Sean. Let me see. There he is.
Pianoman. What's up with you, bro?
What's up, bro?
Man, just getting in the house, cuz. What's going on with you, big homie? You all right?
Well, brother, I am here alive and in living color. And Coach Sean, I'm counting my days down, big dog. This the last week of school, and we're getting ready, going into the graduation season, and you know how that go.
I do, man. My daughter and them, they was actually out today for a e-learning day or some shit, and then some stuff, and then tomorrow they got a half a day, and the day after that they got a half a day. So it's hectic right now, dog.
And your daughter's 8th grade, right?
Mm-hmm. She's in 8th grade.
Oh yeah. And they get ready for those promotion services, promotion exercises and things like that. And man, you're getting ready for, as they would say back in the Gap, she's getting ready for big school.
Oh yeah, she's getting ready for big school, man. She'll be going to Bob Jones doing her thing, and she's gonna be in that summer camp for them cheerleading camps. It's gonna be hectic, man. More money, but hey, hey, man, that's what I work for. That's what I go to work for, homie. So she'll have those.
Pianoman, understand, but that's what we work for, man. And and I ain't rushing nothing, but wait till grandchildren come along.
Yeah,
boy, and they're gonna depend on Paw. So I was with one of mine last night, making the trip to Washington here in about a month or so, and go visit the rest of them. And man, it's gonna be on like folks. But man, welcome to everybody to the Long Run with Pianoman, with my bro from another mole, Coach Sean, and I see Fingers is in the house. I see my producer Dwight. I know others are coming and others are watching. So man, we're gonna just hop right to it. But the first thing I want to do, I have a special announcement, and I'm gonna make it again, but I'm gonna do it right now. Starting Monday, next Monday, Memorial Day, Coach Sean, Pianoman will be on at 8 a.m. I'm going to be on at 8 o'clock from 8 to 9. The name of that show is just going to be called Morning Run. Morning Run. That's what it's going to be called. We're just going to be just talking about Alabama football, different little things, and so forth and so on. Then we'll come back on at our regular time like we're doing today at 5 o'clock. What's up, Keyway? Good to see you. We come back on at a 5 o'clock hour and then do what we normally do and everything. But then we will skip on Tuesday. But then that next day on Wednesday of May the 29th, check this out. Pianoman will start his 8 o'clock then, and I will be on daily, once a day, from 8 until 9, Monday through Friday. This is for the summer months. And we will begin our summer series from 8 to 9 on Mondays through Fridays. But on Monday, every Monday, we'll be on twice a day, that morning and that evening. But Tuesday through Friday, we'll be on 8 to 9. Pianoman gonna get his money's worth out of all of this. And if you notice, Coach Sean, I finally got me a mic. I've been had it. I just didn't know how to kind of hook some things up. And if you notice something else, hold up, got to figure out. I got all that going and all that kind of stuff. I told everybody I'm in competition with myself.
You
I
need
didn't
to
think I could
put it,
do this, but here we are.
post it on Twitter, man. When you do that, like post that, put it on Twitter because a lot of people watch you on Twitter too, man. A lot of
Okay.
people. That way,
And I'm
everybody.
going to do that probably later on tonight. And
Yeah,
so we go.
fact.
But I'm so thankful for everybody that's just helping me out, and we all linking up. And Coach Sean said something. We're all having fun. This is not our job. It's our hobby, and
Facts, man.
so you just have fun with your hobby. But even with your hobby, you got to invest a little bit. So
Yeah.
I'm investing, and the best is yet to come. So again, thankful to my brother, Coach Sean, helping me out and everything. So let's hop to it because we got a lot of ground to cover and everything. You got that right, Fingers. Fingers said podcasting is a blast, and I'm coming to find that out every time I get up here. It's a blast. But here we go, Coach Sean. Now, Coach Sean and I, we got a lot in common. We brothers in more ways than one.
So
We love our football. We love sports. We love our families and things like that. And we do this, but Coach Sean and I share another love, and that's the Pittsburgh Steelers.
yes, sir.
Now I'm waiting on Ebony to come through, but that's okay. She don't count. But Coach Sean, in the first part of our for the next few minutes, I want to know, where do you stand with the Pittsburgh Steelers? Our schedule. What do you see? I don't have it with me to pull up, but what do you see for our team? What do you see?
Man, you know what's so crazy, Pianoman? I was just having this conversation with one of my partners, man. This coming up season, I got to be real, man. I don't look for us to do much, only because we was already suffering a little bit, but we definitely suffering at the quarterback position. If Aaron Rodgers is who we trying to go after, man, that says a lot. I mean, I don't got nothing against Aaron Rodgers, the young Aaron Rodgers who was a dog, but this older Aaron Rodgers that seemed to be more in tune with podcasting and being involved with all the hot topics and all that. It seems like his mind is everywhere but football. So I didn't. Then on top of that, I didn't like the draft we had. I just didn't. I think we passed over several key young men that can help us. I don't understand the heavy defensive draft. I get it, Mike Tomlin, defensive guy, but our defense has not been the problem in 4 years. The offense has, right? So I don't understand taking Will Howard that late. I don't know, man. There's several things about what I'm seeing about what the Steelers is doing I don't like. When you look at what the Ravens is doing, what the Cleveland Browns is doing, what the Cincinnati Bengals is doing, everybody in our division is getting better. We're not. You let Najee go to draft another Najee from Iowa, So I just don't understand, bro. I don't understand the offensive coordinator, this Arthur Smith, whatever his name is. I'm not a huge fan of his. I don't like his schemes. I don't like the way he run his offense, man. It looks like the Tennessee Titans offense because he was there.
Right.
So I'm just very, very disgusted at what we're doing in the offseason. I'm very disgusted at who we're bringing in, and I'm very disgusted at the quarterback position. We passed over several guys that could have stepped in and helped us, man, to settle for Will Howard. I'm utterly befoozled by our choices.
I'm gonna tell you, Coach, and since you're on that subject of quarterbacks, my whole problem is Mason Rudolph in the whole deal. We let him go, right? We let Mason Rudolph go. Now, if we were just going to let him go just to bring him back, we never should have let him go. That's how I see it. But I understand business as a hand. What's up, Zach? What's up, Zach? Man, I'm doing good. Thank you for asking. Hope you and your family as well. I don't get it, Coach Sean. What are we trying to accomplish? What is it? What are we trying to accomplish here?
I really don't know, brother. I wish I had those answers for you because when I look at the history of the things that we're doing, I understand. I'm used to seeing Mike Tomlin go for the defensive guy. I'm used to that. But we always had a star on offense. We always had a star on offense. I wasn't the biggest George Pickens fan because I seen the kid it's like his off the field stuff and his during the game antics was outweighing his play. And in that last game where you kept dropping passes in the same week, missing practice, I'm not mad that they shipped him out. I'm not mad. I hate we gave him to the Cowboys of all people, but I'm not mad at that. But I'm utterly bewildered at the draft, man. I figured when coming into this draft, Tomlin's going to go heavy offense, some more offensive linemen, you know what I mean? Get another tight end opposite of Freiermuth. Get us a QB, man. Get us a QB and let him sit and let him wait and let him learn the game. I thought we'd have Aaron Rodgers at least on deck by now, being the bridge to the younger quarterback. Everything that I thought has not happened. Everything that I ain't gonna say I thought it, but I figured it. Everything that I figured would happen has not happened. So I just don't know what the direction is. We drafted in the first round a defensive tackle who got some talent, but extremely lazy to me when you watch him. We got another defensive lineman on down in the draft. We got a cornerback who's 5'10". I just, no disrespect to 5'10" corners, but I just don't understand the draft picks we had. And that's your future, man. That's your future. Somebody told me today that, well, y'all tanking for next year with all the quarterbacks. We can't afford to tank. We can't afford to tank, man. We've been getting to the playoffs every year, getting thumped the first round, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
we can't afford to tank, brother. And I'm just very, very, very unhappy with where we're headed. And I do not know what the future of Mike Tomlin will hold.
I have a feeling, Coach. I have a feeling that this is going to be his Waterloo, his swan song, however you want to put that.
Facts.
This is going to be it because I've defended Tomlin.
Me too.
I've defended him and everything, but man, our bruh, the draft picks. I was just saying, why didn't we go for Milroe? Why didn't we go for Shador? What's the problem here? Shucks, we could have gotten what's the guy that the Saints ended up getting. I mean, somebody,
Man.
Somebody.
You picked Will Howard in the 6th round, bro. 6th round. So that tells you even you didn't really have faith in the guy. Well, you'd have picked him earlier than that. I just don't know, man. If you can name me 4 starters on the offense, I'd be utterly tickled to death, right?
I can't.
So it's just not. And this is the worst part. This is the worst part. If you say, look at the bright side, I'll agree with you. But here's the dark side of the bright side. All of our division rivals are getting better. The Browns, don't tell Ebony I said that, are getting better, right?
Yeah.
The Bengals, when you see what they got on defense, you know what they got coming back. Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase. I mean, you know what they got coming back. T. Higgins, I think, still there. I'm not sure if T. Higgins left or not. They're going to be a problem. The Ravens going to be a problem. The Ravens, man, all of our division rivals are getting better while we are standing still, waiting on Aaron Dadgum Rodgers.
I don't get it. It's like what you said, Coach. Everyone around us in our division is getting better. And as far as the Ravens go, I think that's the Whites team. As far as the Ravens go, look, they're not doing anything but reloading. That's all they're doing. Now, the Ravens' biggest problem is once they get down the stretch, they can't win. As far as the regular season, all the way up until a certain point, the Ravens will blow you out the water. But once the Ravens get close into the postseason and they get into the postseason, they have issues with certain teams. But like you said, the Browns, like you were saying, we can't tell Ebony this because she gonna shout hallelujah. But the Browns are actually getting better.
That's a fact.
The Bengals, on the other hand, they addressed their needs because they were having problems defensively. Their problems was never on the offense. Their problems was defense, and so they're addressing that. But the Pittsburgh Steelers, my goodness, we aren't addressing anything. It's like, what we doing? And so I see Fingers is saying at least we're not Falcons fans having to deal with what I call inconvenient incompetence. Listen, Fingers, I have no clue. I have no clue about what's happening with the Falcons except they can't beat the Saints. That's about the size of it. But Coach Sean and I are big Pittsburgh fans, and let me stop and give a couple of shout outs. I see Dr. Crystal is in the house. I see Nick Harden, Roll Tide Nick. I see Dwight, my producer's here. Beano's here, and KT is in the house. And KT and Coach Sean, KT is this JETS Jets. I had to do that, but I had to do that for my girl KT.
I saw it, bro. I seen it on her. I think I seen it on her page. I seen something about some Jets. I said, "Oh man!" I think she told us one night she had some family up there. I respect it, man. I respect it. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to all the people in the chat, man. Shout out to all the fellas, all the beautiful ladies, all the homies, everybody, man. Shout out to KT. What up, girl? What's going on with
you? That's she knows what the business is.
Facts, bro.
Dr. Crystal, that's my new friend there, man. That's
sure.
She is something serious. And Nick Harden, what can you say about Nick? And Fingers, what can you say? These folks are some solid people, and I love them and everything. I was what's up, Knappy? You know, there he is. Roll Tide, bro. Roll Tide.
Shout out to
KT, and yes, we're gonna support Malachi. I support Malachi.
Shout out to Dwight too, man. Dwight do great work, man. You got
man,
your background is awesome, bro. Shout out to Dwight, man. Dwight is hella skilled, bro. Hella skill. And once I get me a green screen and figure out just what the hell I'm doing, I'm gonna put some of this stuff up too. What I mean?
And you, man, Dwight is the business, and I depend on him. Fact. And I surprised him with this sign last night. He didn't even know I got it, and I was trying, and we got on here last night and just worked with it and everything until we got what we was getting straight. And we're just getting started real good, everybody. We're just getting started real good. So shout out to Dwight, man. Pastor Sean, Coach Sean, the Bible does indeed teach you give honor to whom honors due and tribute to whom tribute is due. Facts. And man, I have to give shout out to Dwight, man, because this dude is talented, and he makes it all look good and everything. And then the next thing I got to give shout out to my mods. They are super. They keep me straight. And the one thing about it, and they know I'm crazy about them and everything. I just tell them, when you have trouble with people in the chat, you know what you do. You know what to do. And you don't have to explain it to me, because that's what I trust you for. So shout out to my mods.
B Sharp, what up, broski?
What's up? What's up, B Sharp? B Sharp, man, I got to talk to you, bro. you and Coach Carr. I got to bring that dude. The next time I'm on, Coach Sean, I got to bring that brother up that they showed us yesterday.
Man, that little boy was a monster, bro. God. Yes.
And he's just an 8th grader.
He said 8th or 9th. I can't remember. I think he said 8th or 9th. I remember.
Running like Derrick Henry already.
Yeah, he a puppy, man. He gonna probably put on 15, 20 more pounds.
When he do that, they may as well just let him on through.
That's crazy.
We're gonna bring up y'all. We're gonna bring up a brother. We're going to the 9th grade.
Same age of my daughter. So that means he's 13, probably 13, 14 years old.
Looking like Derrick Henry already. We're not lying. I tell you what, on the next episode, we're gonna bring him up. I'm gonna let Coach Sean and B Sharp talk y'all through it, because I'm not gonna say a word. I'm just gonna sit back and just admire the show. I mean, I will. What part of Alabama is he from, Coach?
I think he down in Brinsky's area, that Tuskegee area, if I'm not mistaken. Where's he from, Brinsky? If you can put it in the chat. I thought Brinsky said he was going back to the Tuskegee area, so I'm not mistaken.
Dr. Crystal, you exactly right. These kids different. Good gracious, these kids different.
Where he from, Brinsky?
Yep.
Tuskegee.
Tuskegee.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yep. From
Good.
Skegee. Yeah.
Look at him. When he have a game or something that ain't on the week, that's not on the weekday, I'm telling you now, I'll come over there. I come watch that Nebraska play because he's special already. When he gets older, Coach Sean, it's gonna be a whole lot of folks knocking at his door. And between you and B Sharp, y'all gonna have to guide him. I see it now. Y'all gonna have to guide him.
That boy, he gonna have every offer under the sun by the time he sophomore in college. Sophomore in high school. You watch.
He's already, y'all. We saw a clip of him. The most impressive one I saw is when he picked up the fumble.
Yeah.
And reversed the field.
Stiff arm, cuz. Yeah.
And stiff arm. The stiff arm was exactly like Derrick Henry stiff arm. It was like a replica.
Yeah.
You would have thought that was Derrick Henry doing it. Hadn't seen nothing like that in my days.
Facts. Dude is a monster to be so young. Definitely.
And Alabama already have him. They better keep him.
Yeah.
Go ahead and sign that dude on up. Dr. Crystal said her 4-year-old is shooting threes already on the big goal. Go ahead, Dr. Crystal. Raise him right now.
Yeah.
Raise him right. You know, shooting threes and everything. And I'll tell you what, and by the time he gets to where he needs to be and improving his game, your son gonna be in there. Your 4-year-old gonna be in there. I'm telling you now. I don't give a hoot if it was a female. These children now are different, and so I know Coach Sean is rearing his daughter and everything. So and hey, it is what it is. So I salute all our parents right about now that have children that are superstars in the making. Pianoman, you have Pianoman support, unwavering support, and everything. So with all of the football teams that are out there, the NFL, please don't make the mistake that the Pittsburgh Steelers are making. Draft right, and don't let no one man hold your team hostage. That's how I see it. We've allowed Aaron Rodgers to hold us hostage.
Big time.
And it is a ugly sight as far as I'm concerned. It's an ugly sight.
Yes.
It's ugly. So, but before we go on any further, just want to continue to shout out B Sharp, my brother, Dr. Crystal, all of you, Bino, Nick, Kanafi, Keyway, all y'all, everybody that's in the KT, JETS, Jets. But anyway, let me get to the main reason I wanted Coach Sean here this evening. Anybody that knows me know I love college football. I love football, period. Even if it's on the pee-wee level, I've coached that as well.
Facts.
I love football. And Coach Sean, you will be happy to know my niece was they won the championship, the first flag football championship at Oak Grove High School here in Hattiesburg.
Okay.
She won it. She was tight end. She was the tight end. And my niece got most valuable player. She got most valuable. She's
doing it like that. Okay.
She's doing it like that, bro.
Yeah.
She's doing it like that. But let me tell you something else about my niece. My niece also, she's just in the 9th grade.
Yeah.
And placed 5th or 6th in the state for shot put.
What? She throw the shot put?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. She plays basketball too, Coach. But the reason that I'm bringing all of this up is because Dr. Crystal talks about her 4-year-old, and B Sharp was talking about this young man as a 9th grader, and colleges are already looking at him. The main reason that I brought Coach Sean on tonight is to talk about something that I heard him, and I want him to elaborate on this. I'm gonna give him as much time as he needs to talk about this NIL, the lawsuit, if he wants to, how all of this came to be. As far as Alabama goes, he and I had a discussion about how Alabama got caught up in this lawsuit. I mean, not so much in the lawsuit, but in the NIL, what really happened and everything. And so, Coach Sean, you talked about on, I think it was on TikTok, and I also saw it on Twitter. And I'm going to let you have the floor right here, sir. How you talked about the way for me is how you talked about you wanted everybody to get up off of Coach Saban because y'all was saying that Coach Saban was hating, right? And I need you, and you take it from there about what with the NIL.
Well, what I was saying about Coach Saban is, I heard Luke Skywalker, Luther Campbell make a lot of comments, and all these Reggie Bush and a couple of other what's his name? Acho, Emmanuel Acho, and a bunch of these dudes who probably don't like Coach Saban no way. Talk about how he was old, he can't compete. He's hating on the kids and this, that, and the third. And what I like telling these dudes is the same thing some of my young homies tell me all the time. Some of these dudes have been out of pads for as long as some of these kids been living. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So football is not the same football when I played. I got kids who in college right now playing. High school football ain't even the same since they've been in college, right?
That's right.
So all Coach Saban did was tell people the truth. That's all he did. Everybody thought he was hating. Everybody thought he didn't want the kids to get their money. That's not it at all. What Coach Saban was explaining to you guys is if you allow what's going on today in college football to persist, then don't be mad when all HELL break loose. Don't be mad when you got kids on 3 and 4 different college teams in 3 and 4 different years. Don't be mad when a kid like Nico, whose previous university sued the NCAA to give him NIL money while he was in high school. Well, guess what? Don't be mad when he say, well, a 1.5 ain't enough. I want 2.5. And if you don't give it to me, guess what? I'm going to leave. I'm taking my ball and going home. Coach Saban spoke about all of this. You know why he did? Because he saw that kids of a young age, when they can drive a bargain, when the kids control the narrative, what's to stop a kid from wanting 5 million? Hell, if I'm the best, what's going to stop me from wanting 5 million? All Coach Saban was saying was, you got to have checks and balances with this stuff. You got to have checks and balances with this stuff. What is NIL? NIL is name, image, likeness. What that means is the college athlete's name, the college athlete's image, and the college athlete's likeness, meaning anything that look like him, right? Anything that's close to looking like him. That's his likeness, his bust, his face, right? So, NIL grants athletes the right to control how their name, image, and likeness is used for commercial purposes. That's what it's for, right? It's not to drop off a bag and say, don't go to this school. I'm giving you the 200,000 not to go to this school. Or it's not to drop off a bag to say, hey, I got a Lamborghini for you if you leave Alabama or leave another school, right? If you want to know what NIL is, what pay for play is, as opposed to NIL, look no further than Jackson Cantwell. Jackson Cantwell was all but locked up to Georgia. That's the school he wanted to go to. If you listen to what he said 2 weeks prior, Miami got involved and the kids switched like that. And he all of a sudden loved Miami, right? And you can't be mad at the kid. He's just a young man. Somebody throw $3 million at me, I'll love you too, right? This is what Coach Saban spoke about, man. There is no guardrails about this. There is no guardrails whatsoever. There is no parameters. All Coach Saban said is, I'm for the kids getting their money through NIL, right? Through NIL, through name, through image, through commercial activities, right? Not just go sign up for bags of money, because you're going to have mass hysteria when that happens. So what has happened is now you have kids that is suing schools over NILs that wasn't paid, over lies being told, agents are being frauded. You got I never thought I would see college football be just like college basketball. And that's what you have happening. I was fortunate enough to take the student athlete compensation course. Can you hear me? Is everything okay? Is it
Yes, I got you.
okay?
That's on my end.
Okay. I was fortunate enough to take that class, man. And so I understand how NIL is presented through collectives. I understand how it's given to the kid, how it's presented to the kid through different companies like AAA, like StubHub, like from the smaller companies on to the bigger companies. Now, a lot of your bigger companies will not get involved until you get on the field and prove yourself. But donors, fraudulized agents, that's all. Kid is a 5-star. What type of NIL package are we talking about? This is what Coach Saban talked about. He didn't want it to be this way where a kid is presented these great sums of money before a kid even played. Tennessee, I think right now in 2025 is the actual example of what I'm trying to say. Tennessee is the example. This is a university that spent money on, and I'm gonna tell you something, man. If you know about getting lawyers, retaining lawyers is very expensive for small things. Can you imagine retaining a ton of lawyers, 5 or 6 or 7 lawyers as a team to sue the NCAA in a powerhouse litigation in court? Tennessee probably spent millions on suing the NCAA to get Nico to come to their university, right? They won. The NCAA had nothing to stand on. They won. Nico came to Tennessee, right? Well, guess what happened? Greed set in. I say greed. The kid wanted more, right? And there was no stipulations, nothing to say you can't have more. The kid said, if you don't give me more, I'm leaving school. Tennessee finally put their foot down and said, we can't do this. Go ahead. This is what Coach Saban was referring to, man. Coach Saban talked about the arbitration. Coach Saban talked about these guys that weren't real agents. Coach Saban talked about no guardrails, keeping kids from requesting this stuff in the middle of the season. He spoke on every detail when he was on Capitol Hill, and every last syllable that the man talked about is coming to fruition right today. And it's getting worse. The transfer portal is full of kids, 6, 7, 8,000 kids. NIL is running rapid because they're cloaking pay for play in place of NIL. And so now you have a bunch of kids who love one university, but want to go to this university because they're offering more money. You have a bunch of kids on rosters that are being shipped and bargained to head coaches by agents through other agents. Like Kirby Smart talked about it. You got agents going like, hey, I got such and such a kid from Texas that may want to leave. What you got for him? Right? They're okay. Let's go to this school. Hey, I got such and such from Texas. What you got for him? That's what's going on today, man. And it's sad. It's sad that everybody thought Coach Saban was hating. Well, guess what? Coach Saban looked like the only genius in the room right now. He looked like the only genius. And it wasn't that he was smarter than everybody. It's just he was the only one willing to tell the damn truth. The only one, right? So now Luke and them ain't saying nothing. Now all these people who hated on Coach Saban don't got nothing to say, right? Ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun, right? So now he looks like the genius in the room. Now they begging him to be some kind of commissioner, right? So I'll say this really quickly, man. NIL is Pianoman. Let's say Pianoman Jr. is good in football. He's a senior in high school. He got about 13, 14 scholarships, right? I tell the young man through our collective, if you come to Alabama, we can sell your jerseys with your name on it. We can do this, that, and the third, whoop, whoop, whatever, however y'all collective is set up. This is what we can give you if you come to the University of Alabama. All we ask is you do it through the university or the collective, I should say. You don't take no outside monies from people that has nothing to do with Alabama. You let us, you wear the jersey. All we ask is you put that jersey on and give us the pub. We don't want no money. In return, we'll use your face, any of your images, throwing the ball, catching the ball, your face, right? All we ask is you wear our jersey in return, same way Bryce did, same way Will Anderson did, right? This is how NIL works. It's not sign you for $200,000, not to come to my university, but not to go to Alabama. And that's what you got going on right now. The only way this is going to stop really quickly, Pianoman, is for me, me and Ty, we all talk about this, yourself. We all sort of got the same opinion, but kind of different opinions. I'm of the mindset that a lot of these kids aren't greedy, but the parents are. right? I mean, it's sad to say, but you know, I'm of the mindset that a lot of these 16, 17-year-old kids don't really know what's best for them. I think a lot of these parents see a big payday that they can you know, get. And I think a lot of these parents are pushing the issue. A lot of these parents are pushing the issue. No disrespect to Caleb Downs and his beautiful family. They came to play for Coach Saban. Coach Saban left. They saw an opportunity at Ohio State in the Block O, and they got that big check to go. Hey, brother, do that, right? I'm not mad at you. But what I will say is a lot of these parents are not understanding these are small monies. These are small monies in a small part of the kid's future. Look at Nico, man. How many of us at 18 years old had about a 2.5 million? How many of us? And he still wasn't happy. He thinks his worth was better than that. The only way this is going to stop is a shared revenue, a revenue that has a bottom line, 600 million. You share it with every athlete. You cut them a nice slice of the pie, but this way you can control it. This way, your ass can't transfer after so many years. You know, you got to stay at least 3. This way you can put your own stipulations on it. And that's what and the one thing I do like about it is everything is above board. If revenue sharing is in place through law, through the TV contracts, there's no more going behind closed doors, giving this kid $100,000 to lead. No, it's all above board. We have a time limit that we can give these kids money. Anything outside of that time limit will be penalized harshly, right? Will be penalized harshly. This way, you got your big check, but this way we can control it like we used to. I think that's the only thing that you can possibly do. I think Title IX will be involved with the young ladies because ladies softball is cracking, it's popping. Ladies basketball is popping. Go tell South Carolina they can't have a piece of the pie. South Carolina put 18,000 people in an arena for a girls basketball game every time they play. So there's a lot of things going into this stuff, man. And the only way you can control it is to put stipulations on it. The SEC and the Big Ten hate each other, never work together in nothing. You know, it's something coming when these two entities agreed, let's work together to get this stuff going.
Coach, I got to do this. I had to give you an applause on that one, because, bro, let me tell you something. When you said, and you've heard me say this a couple of times, I don't fault the children or the student athlete all the way. I really don't.
Yeah.
Who I fault in some of it are greedy parents.
That's a fact.
Parents that whose eyes, as we used to say back in the Gap, their eyes are bigger than their stomach.
That's a fact.
And they've ruined their kid. I think it was Fingers who made the statement about, and I'm looking at it now, about DJU. He's a prime example of it, and got there at Clemson and stunk up the place. But then when he transferred, I want to say, to Oregon State and everything, okay, he did okay, but it wasn't anything to write home about. He stays up there, a year, and then transfers to Florida State, and look what happened. We don't even have to go there. And Coach Sean, I was as I was listening to you, my mind thought about what a sportscaster said when they were highlighting Florida State. Everybody was picking Florida State to do this, do that, and the third. My problem was, if DJU couldn't pan out at Clemson and he didn't really pan out at Oregon State, what made you think he was going to all of a sudden become this big time quarterback, and got at Florida State and just stunk the joint up and everything? And there was this sportscaster that said, somewhere out there tonight, Dabo Swinney is saying, I told you so.
Yeah. I mean, brother, you got to remember this NIL, and we keep talking about NIL, but a lot of what you see going on is not NIL. But NIL in general, just the name itself, man, it has significantly changed college sports, allowing athletes to finally earn money for the first time. This has led to like a whole new era of financial empowerment for these student athletes, man. I can speak from personal experience, man. I know what it's like to be broke in college, but to see your jersey in the bookstore and everybody buying it, girls buying it, parents buying it, former players buying it, and you broke. But the bookstore owner, the guy that's selling the jerseys, gonna made him a couple of $100 today, and he won't even speak to your ass. He won't even speak to you, right? You selling my jersey, and I have no control over that, right? You're paid, I'm broke. Nowhere in America is that fair. Nowhere in America is that fair. Ask yourself this. Would a university go sell Kim Kardashian? Would you put Kim Kardashian's face on stuff? Guess why you wouldn't? Guess why you wouldn't put her face on nothing? Because she has the necessary means to sue you for everything you have. Only in college football, up until NIL came around, until these stipulations came around, could you use a kid's face, his complete image, anything that looked like him. I can put you on a game. I can put you on the front of my program book. I can put you on my tent, and I ain't even go to Alabama, and can't nothing. And I can make money off your face. I can lie like you support me and make money. Nowhere in America can you do that legally. So you're going to have to break these kids off, because these kids today are a lot smarter than us. They have these little pocket computers that we call phones, and they can look up bylaws. They can look up all these things that we were afraid to even talk about. And you can't pull the wool over. That's why you see the courts said, we want nothing to do with this. Y'all have at it. Because the courts understand for years, people outside of college football have been getting fat off of these kids, man. Fat. They at golf tournaments. They're doing walkthroughs, right? You couldn't. Do you realize Johnny Manziel got in trouble? Do you realize Todd Gurley from Georgia got in trouble just for signing an autograph for $100?
Yeah.
They got in trouble for that. It's their name. It's their name. You can't sign your name on a fan's autograph for money without getting the whole dadgum school in trouble. That's foul. So now that's not the case. So you got to blame these greedy adults in the room, because they want NCAA. We want to keep all the money. We want to keep all. We don't want the athlete to make nothing. This stuff could have been settled years ago. I don't know if you guys remember, but they had a basketball game back in the day. I was very young, so it had to be back in the early 90s, called NBA Live or something like that. And they used to have these two twins named Charles and Ed O'Bannon. Right? They played for UCLA, the O'Bannon brothers. Those were, in my recollection, the first guys that really sued the NCAA, saying, you got me on the game. Everybody in the world know who he is. One of them was Player of the Year. Everybody in the world loved the game. Everybody getting paid off this stuff except for the kid. Right? So the NCAA could have stepped in, done something about this stuff then, but they didn't want to. The NCAA wanted to squeeze everybody for money. The NCAA is the most crooked, asinine organization I've ever come across in my life. HBCUs, they used to, like the big schools, they would let them fail drug tests, right? They wouldn't report it on the first one. HBCUs, you take a dirty P test, they reporting it. You got to sit out, all of this other stuff, because, it's just a lot of politics going on, man. So nowadays, you can't put Tua's face on that billboard no more and tell his daddy, I ain't got to pay you nothing, right? No, you got to pay the young man nowadays. And I'm for that, but it's a way to do it. You got to have some checks and balances with any type of money that's being given from hand to hand. It's got to be some checks and balances, man, on everything. Without checks and balances, you do what you want to do. And that's why you see college football, what you see the product of today.
Let me stop and do a couple of shout outs. Roll Tide, Carla. Good to see you. Roll Tide, Mimi. Glad to see you. Once again, Fingers, good to see you. Nick Harden, Susan, good to see you. Dr. Crystal, everybody, good to see you. But I know Carla and Mimi just came in. Mimi came in with saying stipulations are the best idea. Coach Nick Saban really has good ideas, and he is a fair man. And that's what Coach Sean is saying. Mimi, you're right on it. We've all said it. There needs to be some type of stipulation, because anything without, it's almost like a runaway locomotive, if I may put it that way, Coach Sean. It's like a train with no conductor.
Yeah.
With you just on. It's almost like you're on autopilot, but you're going to crash. It's almost like the tower. There's nobody controlling anything, and so this is just weighing on my heart, because here, Coach Sean, I think I told you this some months back. there's a player here in Mississippi up in the northern part of the state.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, just in the 12th grade, I think he's in the 12th grade. And bro, as it's either a junior or senior in high school. Fact is, still in high school and already had like a $900,000 NIL deal as a still in high school.
Yeah.
And that's why I came and asked you, how bad is this? And then I'm going to ask you again, how worse? What's the worst case scenario, Coach Sean?
The worst case scenario to me is that the state, each one of these states approve giving high school kids NIL. Remember this though, man, it differs from state to state. That's another thing Coach Saban talked about. It gives some schools like Texas one hell of an advantage, and now Georgia one hell of an advantage, because they can offer all this money to kids in the 10th grade, 9th grade, 8th grade. You come here, we'll give you $900,000, you know, so the kid gonna automatically commit to that university. No holds barred, right? No protections in place, nothing. State of Alabama, you can't do that. Now we're in court to try to get ours, right? I think they're talking about it, or it's in the litigation now, but up until here recently, state of Alabama, you cannot offer high school kids money legally like that, right? Above board. You can't. So every state is different. So that's going to make the gap between the haves and have-nots way bigger, right? So the worst it can get is to offer a kid who barely can drive all this money, man. All this money. So, you know, I tell the kids I know here in Madison, when I see them in Huntsville, when I see them, man, don't fall for that money. I know that 600,000, that 100,000, that 50,000, you know, it looks great. It looks great, but I promise you, don't take a slow 100. Don't take a quick million, or whatever they're saying. Don't take a quick 100. Take the slow million. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not to their liking, man. You got agents now that don't have to get certifications, right?
Right.
I got a partner who just became an agent, man. Darius just became an agent. Like, these guys, half of them never even played football. And so, you know what I'm saying? Half of them never even played football, and but understand business. They understand business, right? So, you know, how does that work, man? How does that work? But see, let me tell you what really is the nail in the coffin, if you will. Sure, we can blame these kids when they get greedy. Sure, we can blame the parents. Blame these adults.
Yeah.
Because the greed started with them, right? I use this analogy all the time in 2023, 4, and 5. USC was the Alabama of the West Coast, man. They had fans like that on the West Coast. When they was good, everybody wanted to see USC. Everybody wanted to be USC, right? Well, USC is in Los Angeles, California, as you all know, right? University of Southern California. USC is in the Big Ten now, 2,000 miles away. They're a part of that conference, 2,000 miles away. Columbus, Ohio is 2,000 miles away from Los Angeles, California. That's a conference game now, right? Stanford, the smart people, the Vanderbilt of the West Coast, right, is in Palo Alto, California. That's Northern California, man. They're in the ACC with Clemson now. Why, Coach Sean? Why is because of TV contracts? Because this conference want to give them $7 million. You come on down here to the ACC, you get 13. You come on down here to the SEC, you get 31 apiece. All about the dollar. How does everything around the kid is about money? You got bowl games now named after jars of jelly. You got bowl games now named after 2-bit body shops, right? More football, more money, right? Everything is about money. The kids know it. So when you set up these parameters and you show bowl games that don't mean nothing, right? But more bowl games, more people watch, more money. How do you expect a student athlete to not be like that? How do you expect a student athlete to not be about money? Everything you're doing is telling them, go for the money. You got coaches accepting jobs, right? Only to leave that job the next year for a bigger paycheck. You don't think the kids see this stuff? Look at AAU basketball. Why you think everybody in the NBA shoot threes now? Ain't no more centers. The center is a position that's gone. The center is gone. There is no center. Your center got to be able to shoot that thing now. spread. Where did it start at? AAU. They seen Steph Curry. Every kid, go look at an AAU basketball game. And for those of you out there that know, to be sharp, know AAU, they teaching these kids at 13, fire that thing up. 14, fire that thing up. Everybody, Steph Curry ruined it for everybody, right? The center, the big tall guy that used to be in the paint, gone, over with. So what you show these kids is what they're gonna do, right? So now these kids want their money too. They want a piece of the pie.
And I'm just saying, what you're saying too, Coach, in just you're saying it without saying it. There are no parameters,
Facts.
no stipulations, no rules, and then from the sports side of it, there are no fundamentals. We just from the basketball side of things, we just jacking up threes, and that's what we're doing. And then even from the football side of it, nobody really knows how to block anymore.
No,
you know, we don't do blocking schemes and blocking drills, and my gosh, tackling is a lost art because we're hitting with the shoulders now and this, that, and the third.
When you do live tackling, if you do live tackling, some of them don't do live tackling. Believe it or not.
Exactly. Whenever you do it, and so now people come hurt. And Finger said it too, and I don't have time to go back in the chat, but he said it too, and I have to agree with him and everything. And matter of fact, everything Finger said concerning this subject, I'm in total agreement with you, big brother. But he said something that's so key, because I have a problem with this, is when a kid can now get mad and get all this money, and because they don't start, like what you said, I'm gonna take my ball and go home. That's and this, that, and the third, and no accountability, no nothing. I'm just gonna go to another team. You get to another team and they pacify you for a minute and then do you the same way, and then I'm gonna go to another team. That's why you still got 27 and 28-year-old men still in college. Yeah, because some of them have not learned responsibility at all. That's what I'm getting at. The lack of responsibility. Now, if a school is using or abusing the system or abusing the student athlete in a, like that, then yes, I can understand them leaving. I got that part. But when you just up and leaving just for the hell of it, excuse my language, but you just up and leaving for the hell of it, and you trying to secure another bag, if you will, there's something wrong with you. There's something wrong with your character. There's something wrong. There's something else wrong with you. And then number two on that, when you get ready to go to the next level, you're not going to make it. I know that Isaiah Bond has some issues. I got that part. I understand that part. Yeah. But when you go back and you look at Isaiah, let's leave out that issue that he has going. Let's leave that part out for a minute, and let's just talk football facts and figures. Look at Isaiah Bond's resume. He did better in 1 year at that 1 or 2 years at Bama than he did those few months at Texas, and nothing. If you take the Justin Wendell's opinion, if you take away the incident, the allegation that he's facing, if you take that away, just put that over on the side somewhere, just take that away and look at his production. Isaiah Bond didn't do anything. And guess what ended up happening? Now, I'm just going to say, for the lack of a better term, he fell far in the draft. Would he have made it? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know, because he wasn't drafted. But I will say this: he allowed the bag, if you will, to supersede that of standard. Because if he had stayed at Bama and everything, Coach Sean, correct me if I'm wrong, he would have been set for life staying at Bama by just bringing up NIL 4th and 31.
And he would have got
drafted. That would have been forever.
And he would have got drafted. Trust me. He would have got drafted.
And would have gotten drafted. See, so sometimes what I'm getting at is that when you call yourself leaving to go for a bag and everything, and your eyes getting bigger and this, that, and the third, ladies and gentlemen, you lose out. And so that's why I asked Coach Sean. I got a couple more questions, Coach.
Okay.
About, since we're on this subject, what here was my question for you is, how will this court case that they have going,
Which one?
the one in California with Judge Calkin, I think that's her name, she's 75 years old and everything. I thought I had her name written down, but here we go. Here we go. I'm gonna read it to you right quick, and you can tell me what you think.
Okay.
In 2020, former Arizona State swimmer Grant House and former TCU basketball player Sedona Prince, known for filming viral TikTok about NCAA gender inequity, filed a case against the NCAA, the Big Ten, the SEC, all of your conferences. Other named plaintiffs included former Illinois football player Tamir Oliver, added later. The case was filed in Northern District of California, the same venue as the other antitrust suits against the NCAA, including the Supreme Court case over athlete educational benefits, NCAA versus Austin. Northern District, here she goes. Northern District of California Judge Claudia Wilkin, that's what I was trying to say. Claudia Wilkin, who is presiding over the House case, also presided over Austin and the landmark O'Bannon case, what you were talking about, over athlete NIL rights. It goes on to say that it is $2.8 billion in damages. The settlement will offer these damages to players who couldn't earn NIL money before the NCAA changed its rule in 2021, distributing money based on formulas agreed upon in the settlement. The parties came up with $2.8 billion in their negotiations, much less than the NCAA and power conferences would have to pay if they lost at trial. My question for Coach Sean is, and this will be my last one on the issue, how will this affect college sports in general?
I think it's going to affect them big time, because I hate to keep going back to this, but this is what Coach Saban talked about again. He said there's going to be tons of lawsuits, and the NCAA will not step in because they're afraid they'll get sued, right? They're afraid, instead of suing the states and suing the athletic part of the NCAA, right? They're afraid of this litigation, and the kids can sue you for this. If you do it in one state and the state law say you can't do it in another state, the kid has an opportunity to sue you and say why. Look at Tennessee. Look no further than Tennessee. This in particular case, though, is what I'm saying, man. That it brings in Title IX as well. Swimmers can say, okay, yes, we don't bring in much generation like football, but we're a college athlete, we're on scholarship. Why can't we get hundreds of thousands of dollars, right? So everybody has a gripe with this, and everybody's going to have their time to explain in court. Until college football, can you imagine the NFL? Can you imagine the NFL if the NFL, you know how we got all these commissioners over every conference? Can y'all imagine the NFL if every NFC team or every NFC, if everybody had a different conference commissioner? Right. The NFC East got a different conference commissioner. The AFC got a, imagine if each division got a different conference commissioner. You know how crazy NFL football would be? NFL got one voice.
Right.
One voice. They have a rule board. They talk about the rules, how it's going to be. That's why the NFL is such a successful model. These guys have had years of failure to make up for it nowadays, right? They have one voice, and that's the NFL commissioner. And that's whatever the guy's name is who always started the NFL draft off, right? He's the one, he's the voice. Sure, you have owners, sure. Athletic directors, owners, same thing, right? But you have one NFL commissioner. He's the head honcho, right? Roger Goodell. NBA, you have one NBA commissioner, right? So in college football, you have tons of them, right? And this is what happens. This swim team is mad because they're a big deal at their school, right? Oklahoma softball is great. They should get just as much as the football team. Well,
Exactly.
North Dakota softball suck. Nobody cares about that. Nobody wants to watch that. They're not generating any money. Why should they get a fat check? So everybody got a gripe, a beef. But if that one lawsuit right there takes flight, look out, because all lawsuits do. What does lawsuits do? It opens the door for other lawsuits. Without when you don't have no arbitration, this is what happens. You have no protections. This is what happens.
Which leads me to the last part of this, leaving this, but kind of bringing it along. How do you think, Coach Sean, and being a coach, being a former player on the collegiate level, seeing it all, how it all goes and everything, with none of our players from Alabama hitting the transfer portal, what message is that sending? And I'm not talking about from a per se just a player standpoint from the X's and the O's of it, but I'm talking about what message is that sending the rest of the NCAA, of messages Alabama sending when you put it all together? What message do you think they're sending?
I think Alabama is sending a message that you counted us out a little too early. Coach Saban was, I know people that would tell you Coach Saban was bigger than college football. I know people that would tell, meaning it don't matter if Ohio State and Texas was playing. If Coach Saban come into the arena, the camera gonna come to him. Coach Saban, man, this guy won 6 natties in 13, 14, 15 years, whatever it was. I think by all these key, when a force like that leave, of course it's gonna send shockwaves throughout the world, throughout college football. Do y'all realize people in Japan was watching about Coach Saban? They were showing it. Do you realize you had universities out here like down in West Georgia that was actually throwing parties when Coach Saban retired, right? This man was huge. So when he leaves, of course, people are going to bail, right? Man, I got to go, man. You know, people going to panic. People going to bail. We lost 30-something players, man. So for all of these kids to stay right now, I think it shows a couple of things. I think it shows, one, they believe in what Coach DeBoer is doing. I think it shows, two, with a brand new staff, out of 12 games, we won 9. Don't sound bad as it was, did it? Out of 12 games, we won 9 of them, right? These guys hadn't been on campus but 6 months, right? New staff, new administration, new everything, man.
Right.
Everybody still don't even know each other yet. Dudes still walking around with their name on tape because you forget their name, right? I think it shows that you counted Alabama out too early. I think it also shows that the grass is not always green. I think I seen somebody in the comment, I think it was Susan. The grass ain't always green on the other side. Go ask Jaleel Billingsley, is the grass greener on the other side? Go ask Amari Knee-Black, is the grass greener on the other side? I want you guys to think of every kid who transferred to another Division I school. How many of them have panned out? Opposite Jalen Hurts. And really, I don't even put Jalen in there because Jalen graduated from the University of Alabama.
Exactly.
I'm not mad at Roy Dale for leaving, because Roy Dale was an upperclassman, stayed at Bama for 3 years, 2-3 years, realized I'm not going to play. Let me go try to play somewhere. I'm not mad at that. I'm talking about kids that stayed 1 year, got upset because they wasn't in the rotation and left. Give me some that worked out, because there's not many.
Right.
Give me some that got drafted and worked out, because there's not many. Do you realize if Jaleel Billingsley had stayed at Bama that next year, Jaleel would have had a great season. If Amari Knee-Black had stayed at Alabama, he would have had a great season, right? Tight end, right?
Right.
But God got a way of fixing everything. I was happy with Robbie Oots. I'm happy with him. I'm happy with him. I had no problem with Robbie Oots. And guess what, Amari? And guess what, Jaleel? Robbie Oots got drafted.
Yep.
Let me say that again.
Say it
Guess
again.
what? Robbie Oots got drafted. He stayed at Bama. And guess what? The Seattle Seahawks drafted him. So I think it shows the grass is not always greener on the other side. What's up, Nicole? How you doing? Good to see you, man. I think it shows if you be patient, all your dreams gonna come true. Marlon Humphrey was the top corner in the state coming out of high school, right? He realized at this time I'm only 180, 175 pounds. Marlon got redshirted his first year. Guess what Marlon Humphrey ended up being? A first round pick and one of the best corners in the NFL right now, and quite paid, I might add. Jameis Winston was the best quarterback in the state and the number 1 or 2 coming out of high school.
Right.
He got redshirted at Florida State his first year. Guess what he done? He won the Heisman Trophy, and contrary to what you want to think, he's still in the league today collecting checks.
Exactly.
You got to prepare for your future as a player, man. Everything that's quick ain't good.
Right.
Everything that's a quick buck isn't good, man. But if you look now, you see kids at Thompson starting to turn down them checks. They like, nah, I'm cool. Keep your 700,000. I'm going to wait, bet on myself and see what happens. The quick buck is not always what's up. I tell the players that all the time, man. Bet on yourself. Right. Bet on yourself. Watch what happens. So the players stayed. Right. Nobody transferred. I think this is going to benefit Alabama like the fans don't even know. We have so much talent coming back on the defensive side of the ball. We have a lot of talent in the offensive line coming back. We have some experienced receivers coming back and some young talent that was in Isaiah Horton's case, a young kid who was experienced somewhere else that's now at Bama, right?
That's it.
So everybody counted us out. They laughed at us. They talked about the dynasty over. They sorry, all this. What? Okay, wait till this season. We'll see. We'll see.
I'm telling you, man. And I think what I'm gonna add to this, and got a couple more things, and we're gonna get off, because on the SEC network right now, if you turn to it, and because I'm gonna rush through these last two, and then we're gonna get off. All In, featuring the Alabama Crimson Tide from the spring and everything, is being featured on the SEC network as we speak. And so I was, but I did not want to rush Coach Sean on this, because I'm going to tell you this. I set it up to where he could talk about the NIL, all of the ins and the outs, to talk about how none of our players from the Alabama Crimson Tide, nobody hit the transfer portal. So I'm going to give my 2 cents. It's unsolicited, but I'm going to give it anyway.
Yes, sir.
I'm with Coach Sean when it says that I believe that they've bought into the fact that we won 9 games last year.
Facts.
We know that the 3 or 4 games that we lost, we know we should not have lost them. We understand that. We got that part. But we won 9. There are a lot of teams that cannot say that about a 5th-year coach. Shout out to LaToya. Shout out to Nicole. Good to see you. Roll Tide to you. Thank you for coming.
In his first season, Pianoman.
In his first season. Whereas you've got some guys there that's been there 3 or 4 years, didn't even win 5 games. But we're not gonna call no names on that.
Facts.
But the thing about it is, we know that we lost the 4. See, I'm gonna harp on the 4 for a minute that we lost. I know teams that only won 4 games. I know teams that didn't win 4 games, but we lost 4, but we won 9. The second thing I believe that they noticed is that what you said, Susan said it, our parents said it, our grandparents said it, aunts and uncles said it. The grass is not always greener on the other side. Excuse me. We know some players that was promised a Lamborghini and ended up with a Nissan Altima. You fell for the okie doke. You just fail. That's as far as I'm gonna go. But as you said earlier, though, Coach Sean, God has a way of working things out.
That's fact.
He has a way. Ever so often, you have to weed out some stuff. You have to allow him to weed out. Now, fingers, I ain't preaching, but I just know what I'm talking about here. Sometimes you have to lose some stuff in order to gain some stuff. Fact. It's an even exchange. It may not look like it at the time, but you have to lose some stuff. You have to give up some stuff to get what you want. Well, I'm looking at it this way. The year before, we lost 30, right? That's what Coach Sean said. But this year, we lost nobody. So, which leads me to believe that they believe in the system. They believe in that we can build from last year. But here's the other part of it. We also said that the grass is not always greener on the other side.
Facts.
But we also looking at what happened to some of our former players who did leave.
That's facts.
We see that they didn't turn out, with some of them, they didn't turn out so hot. So you have to weigh out, you have to weigh that thing out. Is it best that I stay and be a part of something, or leave and probably be a part of nothing? My former pastor used to say this: some people would rather be the leader of nothing than to be the follower of something. So I think that we're in for a special season. I didn't want to talk a lot about Alabama tonight like we normally do, because it's going to be the same old soup warmed over, Coach, until it gets closer to the time of playing.
Yeah.
And they start back up. But I wanted to talk about the NIL because, and with this pay for play and all that good stuff, because I want our listeners to see how blessed we really are with the team that we really have.
That's facts.
Now, while all these other folks around here putting down on Coach DeBoer, putting down on Coach Womack, putting down on Ryan Grubb and this, that, and the third, trying to make this, and I'm going to go on and say it, trying to make this quarterback battle more than what it is. Some people still riding Milroe. From the negative end, Milroe is living his best life out there on the West Coast and making news out there in Seattle. You still harping on what was instead of having faith on what is and what can be. And so I believe that we're in for a treat. And I'm gonna tell you this, Coach. I like all our players, right? But I will tell you, I got a new favorite player on Alabama. I do. I got a new favorite player.
Which one?
That doggone Bray Hubbard.
Yeah.
That dude got a vibe on him, man. Yeah. That dude cold-blooded. That dude cold-blooded, man. And when he talked to you, and he teach well, where I teach, in the area that I teach, that's where Bray Hubbard is from.
Okay.
He's from Ocean Springs, Mississippi.
Yeah.
I teach in Lyman at West Harrison. Well, Ocean Springs is this town, real laid back. If you see how Bray Hubbard acts, how his demeanor, where he came from, that's how basically I used to live in Ocean Springs, real laid back.
Yeah.
You know, don't get in no hurry. Just real cool, whatever. What's up, Ephraim?
Oh,
good to see you. Roll Tide, bro.
What's up?
Roll Tide, broski. Yeah. But that's the way that's my new favorite player. That doggone Bray Hubbard, man. That dude is cold-blooded. But they bought into this, Coach Sean, and like what you said. So I did that NIL thing to lead us into this to that part there, to say, listen, Tide fans, we have something to be proud of. These guys stayed. And I'm gonna tell you this. And Coach Sean, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I'm almost willing to guarantee you some of the teams that Alabama have to play are scratching their head right now because they thought sure some of those guys was going to hit that portal.
That's a whole fact. Josh Pate talked about that. Man, listen, and I was guilty of it too. I'm no different than nobody else, man. I got frustrated with the team last year, man. You know, when we lost, for me, the Vanderbilt loss hurt, but when you coach football before, anybody who coach can tell you this, I ain't the only one. When you watching the Vanderbilt game, you just understanding, because what Vanderbilt do, man, listen, it's so hard to prepare for that type of offense, bro. Right? I know teams that don't even use a football when they're practicing for that kind of offense, because you want your linebackers watching everything. I mean, it's when I watched the Vanderbilt game, I didn't even get that frustrated because they just beat us, right? The Oklahoma game is the one that I got frustrated on. That's the one that I was like, what? just seeing us get our butt kicked up and down the field, seeing the body language on the sideline. That's the game that I was distraught over. Like, but on the flip side, I'll say this, and B Sharp used to say it all the time, man. We got 12 games on the schedule, man. We won 9 of them. I don't even really count the bowl because, okay, it's Michigan again. We lost. We look terrible, whatever, right? Our regular season, we had 12 games, and we won 9 of the 12 in a coach's first season at the University of Alabama, right? This man barely was moved in his place, and we won 9 games out of 12. We got so much. This is the most talent we'll have coming back on defense in a few years, right? We got some talent back there, bro. We got some talent. I mean, real talent back there, bro, right?
Right.
I believe that it was a lot of things going on last year, man, that will hinder a football team, right? A lot of things were going on. A lot of people don't know that hindered that team in certain weeks. So for those guys to pull it together and win 9 games, man, I ain't got nothing bad to say, right? People beat up Jalen Milroe, and I'll be the first to tell you, Jalen didn't always play well. He didn't.
No.
You will never hear me attack nothing but his play. Right. I made a video about that on TikTok as well. You know, B Sharp did anyway. You know, it's okay to attack their play. When you don't play well, you got to own it, man. Right. But don't act like the team playing terrible was his. Last time I checked, Jalen didn't play defense against Michigan. Right. Michigan scored on us and didn't even throw the ball. That wasn't Jalen's fault. Jalen don't play linebacker, corner, D line. Jalen had nothing to do with that. Them long drives we let them do. Right. So it was a complete team L, right? Everybody. So losing sometimes is a cold glass of water in your face, right? And this team has received probably more criticism than any team I can remember of Coach Saban's in recent memory, and rightfully so. Rightfully so. So I do believe Jeremy Bernard was right when he said, it's a terrible taste in our mouths, man, and we can't wait to get it out. So you just wait for this year, man. Wait for this year. I really believe in my heart that everything is lining up. The culture is different. You see the coaches getting in they butt now, just like Coach Saban them used to do, right? Kids are accepting being coached. See, that's the thing nowadays. A lot of kids don't want to be coached. They want to whine and mope, and I'm a transfer. These kids are being coached, right? At the highest level. And I think you're gonna see the results when the football season starts.
And I'm of the same persuasion, Coach. When you sit back and you think about it, and we're getting ready to go. I'm like you. I'm just getting off. I'm sort of tired, and I still got another engagement to go. So that's why I'm getting ready to wrap this up. But, bruh, I have to agree with you that it left a bad taste in their mouth.
Facts.
And then here's the other part. And since we're on the subject about Milroe, let me go ahead and say this. Milroe was learning a new system that he was not familiar with. And part of that system caused him, and just in one humble guy's opinion, again, I played offense, I played defense, but there are certain systems that don't fit another person's skill set.
That's a fact.
That he was, as much as he wanted to be, and I'm going, and wherever this gets out, hear Pianoman when he says this. It came out of Milroe's mouth himself. He wanted to be known as a pocket quarterback. That was not his nature. That's not him. That's something you got to work at, and and that type of skill don't just fall down out the sky.
Facts.
You got to work at that. That's something that you have to work at. You just have to work at it. It's almost like, Coach, and you know exactly what I'm talking about. When you are a fullback in a system, especially running any formation, when you're the fullback, very rarely do you run the football.
Facts.
You are a blocker. But when you get the ball, your mind have to be focused. You still have to know how to hold it. You have to know how to receive it. You got to know which hand to hold, which arm to hold it under. which way the interference is coming, and you hold it in the opposite hand so you can stiff arm, because if you don't, you're going to fumble the football. You got to know the plays. And running fullback, you got to know what the tailback is doing. You got to know what the tight end is doing. You've got to know everything. Well, Milroe was that type of dude. He was not a Joe Montana, a Tom Brady, a Phillip Rivers. I'm just kind of naming some pocket quarterbacks. His first inclination was always to run. When defenses caught on to that and everything, yes, they started rushing. They did that. And when he would go back in the pocket, he panicked. Well, who would? Because he's never been able to do that. This year, now let's fast forward. Now you've got 3 guys back there who are, in my opinion, they're bona fide pocket quarterbacks. Gonna fit the scheme. Ought to have some different results this year of what we're actually looking for, of how the offense should run. I believe we're going to see something different. I believe so. And it's going to be positive. Excuse me. Again, it's going to be positive. But what I want some of our fans to stop doing is anointing people for positions that they hadn't earned yet.
Yeah.
Coach DeBoer and told him, he said it Saturday. I was listening to an interview from him from the weekend. He made the statement that, yes, if we had to play the game today or tomorrow, yes, Ty would be the quarterback. He didn't say Ty was going to start. He said if there was going to be a game. Now, you can say, well, he's hinting to it. No, he's not, because you have to listen for his next statement. He said because all 3 quarterbacks have to do better. Yeah. They've got to do better all the way around. So he hadn't named a starter. He hasn't named any starters on the line. He has not named any starters in the offensive backfield. He has not named any starters, but he was just saying that everybody has to do better. But if a game came up, then that's the way it's going to be. You know, if a game came up tomorrow, this person would be the starter. But he never said that they were going to start from day one. He just said if. And the key word is I'm like my late father, God rest his soul. The key word is if. 2 letters, but carry a whole big impact. If. So all I'm saying is, Bama fans, let's be patient. I believe our best is yet to come. And Coach Sean, I'll say this, and I'm gonna let you have the last word on this before we close out. Mm-hmm. If we do well this year, I'm just gonna say it like that. I'm not gonna give us any false expectations, because I believe I'm not gonna rush ahead to no game. I'm gonna say, what's the most important game? The first one. The first one.
That's a fact.
Not Georgia.
Yeah.
Not Auburn. Not LSU. The first one.
And I tell them this too. I tell them this too, Pianoman. If you know football, Jalen Milroe had 3 different offensive coordinators with 3 different styles, 3 different years. Mm-hmm. Go back to Bill O'Brien. What does Bill O'Brien do? West Coast offense. You know what I'm saying? A little bit of pro style, you know what I mean? Balance every once in a while, right? But basically a West Coast offense, right?
Right.
Like Bryce flourished in it the year before, right? Into the next season, what do Tommy Rees do? Multiple tight ends, pre-snap, you know what I'm saying? Zone scheme, totally different. Mm-hmm. On to the next year. Nick Sheridan and Katie DeBoer, completely different. Counter scheme, right? Counter zone, trap, you know what I mean? Inside, outside. So principles in all 3 of these systems are completely different, right? You can't just be like Cade Klubnik over there and settle in one system and be in it for 3 years. This man learning a whole new terminology every season. Well, the last system, when the dude playing inside on me, they'll run a slant, I throw it to him. Well, no, this system, when the dude playing outside on me, we check off and run a high-low with the two. We run a high-low, so it's totally different.
Right.
Well, this system we just ran last year, right? You don't do neither one of those, right? Inside, outside zone with the tight end running counter action. The center's peeling back and picking up the tight end's guy he was blocking. So it's totally different. Every scheme is totally different. The quarterback do something totally different, man, on third and short, third and long. So it's very difficult, man. I'm not making excuses for nobody. I'm just saying I understand how different it is to run different schemes every season. AJ McCarron ran the same scheme from Jim McElwain to Nussmeier, the guy, Garrett Nussmeier, dad, same exact scheme, right? AJ was lucky to be in the same scheme because back then you changed with Alabama, right? You didn't run your scheme, you ran Alabama's scheme, right?
Right.
Bill O'Brien, totally different from Tommy Rees, totally different from Kalen DeBoer. And Jalen had to learn all three in 3 different seasons, starting all the way over, all 3 different seasons. With your principles that you learned last year means absolutely nothing this year. So I'm just happy, man. I'm just happy that the kids stayed. They believed in Alabama. That Kalen DeBoer and I love Ryan Grubb. I love how Ryan Grubb attacks. You know, I'm just excited for the season. I'm anxious to Alabama to get back on the field because I think a lot of people counted us out early. I think they wanted to count us out. I think that's the first time they saw a chink in Alabama's armor, a real chink, not the chink that they make up, but a real chink. We taking L's left and right. So everybody piled on. Everybody piled on. Well, here's the good news. Just like Coach Saban used to say, don't worry about what nobody say about you. You just worry about taking a chance of your next opportunity to defeat them. Right? So we'll see you next season. We'll see you next season.
Yeah. And I'm gonna say this right quick. Ephraim said, remember Ty Simpson's more mobile than Mac Jones. Facts. But I also believe that you can't compare the two because Mac played in a different system, Ty's playing in a different system, and the situations are different. Now I'm gonna say this, Ephraim, and I don't know if you agree with me or not, but this wide receiver room is just as potent as when you're dealing with Mac Jones. Because see, we're making all this light about Isaiah Horton, Ryan Williams, and Jern. But let me tell you something. You sit down and think about Lasir Brooks, Derek Meadows, Jalen Hale, Bachway, Cole Adams. There's this other one. I can't think, but you're dealing like I think Coach Sean, they said we've got 11 deep in the wide receiver room. That's what and nobody transferred. That's what's making people take notice of Bama. They don't want to give us the props, but back in the back of their mind, and all those guys are dangerous. Those guys can play. All those wide receivers, plus the tight ends are awesome. So we have something to look forward to. We're deep in running back, but Ephraim said something else, and that's the part that I want to harp on. Ephraim said this offensive line has to be nasty, and that's all I've been screaming. Is that if the O line is not solid, then Coach Sean, it won't matter. They can put the Pope back there at quarterback. He gonna be running for his life. I'm just saying. The O line, to me, the O line. I've said it before. I'm gonna say it again. Coach Sean, the O line is the X factor for the Alabama Crimson Tide this year. Not the quarterback, not the wideouts, not the running backs, not even the defense from the linebackers on back. But if you want to know the X factors on defense, it's going to be the D line. In my opinion, if you want to know the X factor on offense, it's going to be the O line. If those two entities right there are solid, then what Coach Sean said earlier, it's going to be lights out.
I think
it's
the
going to be
offensive
something
line,
serious.
Yeah, facts, man. I think the offensive line will play better because it'll be better principled play calling. We put our offensive line in a lot of crazy situations last year, man. I don't know if people noticed, but there were several games, Oklahoma being one of them, where we would have six six in the block, 5 offensive linemen and the tight end to block in a 7-man box, right? So somebody was going and we would run a quarterback counter to the weak side and get stuffed for 5 yards. That wasn't the offensive line's fault. That was the play caller's fault, not identifying that you have numbers. You're lacking in the numbers game. You're not keeping the running back in. You send the running back out in the flats to catch a pass. Somebody's going to get, you got somebody that's always going to come free. That's play calling, right? So the offensive line gave up a lot of bad plays because the play calling just didn't help them, man, a lot of times. Now, they play bad in times. Don't get me wrong. They play bad in times. But with this guy, Ryan Grubb, 12 personnel, this guy run hella screens to the wide receiver, not the running back. Wide receiver screens, counters, you know what I'm saying? Tunnels, bubbles to the wide receiver, not the running back. I don't ever remember us running a screen to the wide receiver last year. If you remember one, tell me, because I don't know. Right?
We did.
This guy, if we catch teams in single high safety, this guy will run my favorite route of all time. If you know me, Brinsky, I know Brinsky can tell you, this guy will run it. Right? Post corner all day, every day. Line up in single high safety against us next year. You know what I'm saying? We'll throw that post corner this time. So Ryan Grubb is he's a logical play caller, man. A lot of 12 personnel type things. You're not going to be able to play us like you did last year. You're not going to be able to just commit resources. You're not going to let a team like Michigan line up and be basic and whip us like that. It's not going to happen, man. I tell people all the time, and I know there's people out there that disagree or whatever, but I know what my eyes tell me, and I'll sit down with anybody, right, and talk. I know what I seen us do on 3rd and 4. We out there running deep digs on 3rd and 4, and Jalen getting sacked before he even get to his 3rd step. How is that the quarterback, right? I seen us play teams and they bring in the same blitz like 3 times in a row and we still don't pick it up. How is that the quarterback? Right? You putting them in a no-win situation. I seen them playing man on us, straight up man on us, man. And we out there running QB counter with Jalen, the same play like 4 times in 4 different series. How is that the QB?
It's not, Coach.
Right? So I don't know
the only thing I blame the QB on, Coach Sean, is and you were talking about the Oklahoma game. If anybody go back and watch that game, Jalen had it in his mind, and like I said, I'm a former running back, and I even thought like this at times, that if you could ever just kick it outside, if you could kick it outside on the edge, nobody was going to catch you. But the problem was, the way we have to remember in that Oklahoma game, you're going up against a defensive guru in Brent Venables. The 2 times Alabama played Clemson, well, the 4 times Alabama played Clemson. Remember now, we're 2-2 against them. The 2 times Alabama lost to Clemson, Venables coached one defensive hell game. He really defensed us. And that's what he did. It was almost like playing basketball, doing a box-in one, where you're going to isolate a particular player. They isolated Milroe because they knew they knew the potential that he could win a game basically by himself with his feet, with his legs. If you go back and watch the game, every time Milroe would try to kick it out, there came containment on the edge to shut that down. If Milroe had to cut it back in, the lane was right there. He was so used to doing that going on the outside where nobody could catch him and everything. He thought that was going to happen, and Oklahoma was bringing containment on the outside every time. That's why he kept making mistakes down the stretch. But this year, I'm with you, Coach Sean. I don't believe defenses are going to be able to defense us the same way, especially when you have the quarterbacks that you're going to have and the wideouts that you're going to have. They're going to have to play some honest defense this go real.
I will say this really quickly. against certain teams you didn't see it, but against power teams you did. I've never, if you look back when Jake used to be with us, and shout out to Jake wherever he at, love Jake to death. Me and Jake was a defensive guy. I'm an offensive guy. We used to go back and forth all the time, and I used to tell him the one thing about the 4-2-5 is I've coached against the 4-2-5 several times.
Mm-hmm.
The 4-2-5 was always sort of weak to me when you catch them in that nickel for real nickel, right? Inside runs, especially when you run a lot of flood routes against the 4-2-5, catch them in high-low combos, and that's what we gave up plays on.
Yeah,
right. Catch him in that overhang, right, and run his way, which is what Michigan did to us all day long. I told people last year, me and Coach Jans, running that 4-2-5, you better have defensive backs that want to tackle. Right. It's not like the 3-4 where you can hide. The 4-2-5, your Husky, was it Husky? Whatever they call it in the 4-2-5.
Mm-hmm.
He better be a dog. He better be somebody that enjoy contact. So what you see DeBoer and them doing is instead of putting a DB over there, they're putting linebackers over there who can run, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I know where the weak points are in the 4-2-5, and Michigan attacked us on them. Michigan didn't do nothing spectacular, right? If you look at Oklahoma, they ran our same quarterback counter read against us maybe 4 times in a row to the weak side of the 4-2-5, right? They just ran the same play. We got LT Overton out there standing up, trying to tackle somebody, getting caught in space and getting Peter rolled, right? So that's the one thing I don't like about the 4-2-5, right? Because I knew our personnel didn't fit that last year, right? So, and I'm hoping it's better this year, man, because we'll beat up on everybody. But the power teams, I'm hoping we have those defensive backs that enjoy contact, right? I don't want to do a lot of match coverage on the back end. That vision coverage seemed to work best for me with interceptions. That matching, I don't really like. I didn't like that when Coach Saban was coaching it, because if you make one mistake, somebody going to be clearly wide open. You're going to see a ball go over somebody's head, clear touchdown. So I think we'll be better this year in that, man. We got better down the stretch. I think the personnel fit the scheme this year better than it did last year. And I just think Alabama's due for a big season, and I just can't wait, man. I just can't wait.
I'm with you, Coach. And Mimi said, we're gonna end up right here. Mimi said, "Oh, come on, Coach, let them play us like they did last year." Mimi, if they play us like they did last year, it's gonna be some weeping and smashing of teeth. I'm telling you now, because I believe that I just believe that we're ready. I believe that we're going to be ready. And like I said before, and if you look at my shirt, let me stand up here. Everybody hollering about beat Georgia, beat this one, beat that one. Well, my shirt says beat everybody.
Beat everybody.
Beat everybody. That's what my shirt says. Beat everybody.
Thanks, man.
I don't have a special game that I want Alabama to win. All the games are special. Yeah. Beat everybody. Mimi and everybody else. I'm gonna tell you what I like in that too. When I was little growing up, Coach Sean, and we did something wrong, and my mama and daddy wanted to know who did it and everything, and nobody will own up to it. They said, well, okay, this is how we're gonna do. We're gonna get everybody until we get to the right one. That's how I like in this right here. Beat everybody until you get to the right one. Get everybody. Beat them all. Start with Florida State. Don't show no mercy to ULM. Don't show no hospitality to Wisconsin. And don't show no mercy to Georgia. Beat Georgia at home. You know what? It's bad to get your butt beat on your crib. It's a bad thing. Somebody come to your house and kick your butt. Well, let's keep on doing it. I'm just saying, man. Beat everybody. Beat everybody. So Mimi, they can play us like they played us last year if they want to. It's gonna be something else. But I believe the Mimi goes on to say, I believe it will be interesting. I believe our guys are going to be ready and improve. Much facts, Mimi. I agree totally. Which I find there are no lies in what you said. There are no lies in what you said. I believe our guys are going to be focused, which leads me to my last point. We win. The players will come. You'll sign your 5 stars. You'll sign high 4 stars. Everybody will want to come because people want to go where there are winners. And furthermore is Alabama. Yeah. And so y'all, we're gonna end right here. We missed 40 minutes of it. If you're not watching it, All In is on the SEC network with Alabama. Let me make these last 2 announcements. And first of all, thank Coach Sean, my brother, for coming.
Always, brother.
Always. I got to give him a shout out. That's my bro. I appreciate it. Thank you, B Sharp, for sitting in. Next week, next time, B Sharp is gonna be you, Coach Sean, and Coach Carl. We're gonna have a conversation out this world the next time. I thank everybody that's in the chat. I thank my producer Dwight. I thank Ephraim for coming, Mimi for coming, Susan for coming, Carla for coming, KT for coming, Nicole for coming, everyone for coming, Latoya, everybody for coming, Bino, all of the Keeping It a Buck crew. But I just want to remind you that starting next Monday, Pianoman with the long run will be on at 8:00 a.m. on Monday morning from 8 until 9. And that's going to be called the morning run. And then I will be back on Monday at 5 p.m. at the regular time. Then starting Wednesday of next week, the summer schedule will start on daily at 8 from 8 to 9. And then I will be back on Monday, 8 to 9, and then from 5 to whenever. And so that's going to be our summer schedule. And so we hope that you join us on Monday, starting next Monday morning at 8:00. We no telling what we're going to discuss, but we're just going to only be on 1 hour. And then we'll be back for our regular show at 5:00. And then after that, every day, from Monday through Friday, from 8 to 9, 8 to 9, Tuesday through Friday, let me get it right. Tuesday through Friday, 8 to 9 daily, you'll see Pianoman on the morning run. We hope and pray that you'll join us. We're going to be talking all things Alabama. We're going to be doing all kinds of talk on this, that, and the third. But we're going to have some special segments coming. We're going to hopefully have some special people coming. But we just want you to just continue to come. And Coach Sean, before you go, can you tell us where to find you?
All facts, man. You can definitely find me right here on JMHO Sports Talk on Twitter and YouTube. Just my humble opinion. That's JMHO Sports Talk on Twitter and YouTube. Big shout out, man, to my brother Brinsky in the chat right now. Sharpshooters Podcast. Big shout out to Coach Al, Coach Carl, Ty Hayes, Jan 716, all our ex-clan, and big shout out to my brother Pianoman for having me today. Always love chopping up with Pianoman, football aficionado, man. Love it to death. Can't wait to see y'all again, man.
Yeah, Nicole, good to see you. And B Sharp, he's going live in 20 minutes. I'm gonna be a little late, B Sharp, because I got to go do something for church right quick. But I'm coming, bro. I'm coming, and everything. But Fingers, good to see you as always. Ephraim, you know what the business is, and Mimi, that's my friend on Twitter. That's my Ace Boone Coon on Twitter. Thank you for coming, Susan. Always, and listen, let me tell y'all something. I said this last week. I'll say it again till my casket drop. We're no experts, but we know what we talking about. So until the next time, everybody have a great evening. Go get you some water, get you some refreshment. Hey, Roll Tide, Nick Harden. That's always Nick Harden. That's the dude right there. KT. Coach Sean, did you know Nick is going to see Bama play Florida State?
Oh, that's
you can have all that heat, brother. Go ahead.
Yeah,
I'm gonna stick.
It's gonna be beaming down there, bro. Woo, it's gonna be hot. It's gonna be hot. It's gonna be about 102 that watch.
Oh man,
Florida.
September. I can't go, bro. Ooh, that made me tired just thinking about it. Yeah. Okay. An announcement right quick. B Sharp just said he told Dwight I'm going live tomorrow night because I want these brothers on the show. Be right there, bro. I know they tired. My mind is tired, but I got to go do this church. Got to go do something for church before my pastor kicked me out of church.
Yeah, I'm finna go before it get dark. Cut
Yeah, I
this
get
grass,
kicked out.
man.
They're gonna be minus. They're gonna be minus a minister of music. But everybody, man, to live show tomorrow night will be sharp, be there or be square. Coach Sean will be there. The Lord willing, Pianoman's gonna be there along with B Sharp and whoever else he may have. Listen, we're a family. We do this thing together tomorrow night, and I just want all of us to be there. Let's flood B Sharp's program. And listen, if you have not subscribed to the Long Run or to Just My Humble Opinion or to Sharpshooters, hey, subscribe, like, share, subscribe. We are a family, okay?
Tap in with
All
John
right.
too. Over there, Bama Standard, Bama Chatter. Make sure
Yeah.
you tap in with John too, man. John got some good stuff with us.
Exactly.
We
And
tied in with him. He do some big things over there too, man.
exactly. John is a cool dude.
Oh yeah.
Great content. And whenever Coach Sean and Coach B Sharp is on there, it is fire. Fire every time. And I have to tell y'all that, brothers. You know me. I'm gonna give you your props. But listen,
Appreciate you, bro.
don't forget and listen, if you follow YouTube long enough, you'll get the schedules. You'll know when we all there. And big shout out to, we got to give the shout out to KB Kangaroo Black. Can't forget the OG. That's
KB for sure.
We got the KB, man. If you're watching, big ups to you. And we're gonna have another show when all of us gonna be back on, and we're gonna be chopping it up and everything. And we loved it and everything. So again, we thank you for coming. Don't forget Pianoman's in the Long Run's new schedule. The summer series is coming up. And then don't forget to support Coach Sean, B Sharp. And again, one more time, we're no experts, but we know what we're talking about. Until the next time, everybody have a great night. Roll Tide. And we'll see you the next time.